of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child receives protection from a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace. All right, good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We're so glad you're here with us today, and we'd like you to sing with us. So, our first song is I Love Myself the Way I Am. And I think we need our words up there. As soon as they magically appear. Here we go. And here we go.
I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
All right, I'd like to introduce our musicians to you this morning. We have on bass, Mr. Bill Dixon. On drums, David Page. On guitar, Ed Cusby. A guest pianist who's going to play for the choir is Jules Vogel. Our song leaders, Kimberly and Wade Wooldridge. And our soloist today will be the Jewel Tones Choir Goes West. Please join us, stand for our next sing-along song, which is Put a Little Love in Your Heart. All right. Here we go.
Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. All right. Put a little love in your heart.
Oh, we have meet and greet I totally spaced. Meet your neighbors. Sorry. All right, come on back. One more chorus. Here we go. Another day goes by, and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart.
If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see.
Real ending.
Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Woohoo! Yes. Feel the love. Good morning. And welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley in beautiful San Clemente, California. It is my delight and my joy to welcome each and every one of you here this morning. It's going to be a great morning. I just feel it. The energy is just great in this room, and you all just look beautiful today. Well, thanks. Well, we are a center that welcomes everyone. We are trans-denominational, non-denominational, multi-denominational, you name it, that's who we are. And we speak the truth here. So we're going to start the service with an affirmative prayer, which is what we do when we start anything that we do, is we pray. So please join me. So we go within, so we never will go without knowing the truth. And the truth is, there is only one first cause to every experience we have. One loving, divine intelligence. One presence. One God. And this one, this energy, this essence, this presence is everywhere at all times. Therefore, it is right here, right now, in this very room, beautifully expressing as each one of us. For all the qualities of God reside within us. We are the beauty. We are the beloved. We are the joy. We are that unconditional love. And so this morning I affirm and I decree that all is well. And that as we return to love once again, we wake up to that awareness that God's love is the love that we are. We open up knowing that the master teacher, Jesus, taught us that love. We wake up aware, alive, and awake to this truth that is ours to hold. And so knowing that this service unfolds in divine right order, and that each one of us is inspired by Dr. Heather's talk this morning. And we are lifted up by the jewel tones and the beautiful music. And we especially know that as we look into the eyes of that person next to us or in fellowship, that they too are that beautiful expression of God in action. And so I fill my heart with gratitude, with joy, and with thanksgiving as I place these words into divine mind where they are already created. It says, yes, yes, my beloved, it is done unto you as you believe. And so please join me in anchoring this prayer in truth as we say together, and so it is. I'd like to invite Dave Freeman up to help me with the announcements. And after we do the announcements, he will be reading the affirmation for us this morning. And these affirmations for this month of May were written by our practitioner, Kim Province. Okay, so first of all, after the service today at noon, we have a gathering that we call Conscious Connection. It's where you can come with a group of people here in the sanctuary and discuss what was talked about and what inspired you this morning at this morning's service. And then this Wednesday, we have our newest minister, Reverend Barbara, will be speaking at the Wednesday service at 7 o'clock. And her topic is, this is a good one, supersonic creativity and faith, the answer to your prayers. Woohoo, I'll be here. I want to know. So I'll be here for that this Wednesday, 7.
Morning. Back at the table, at the back of the room here is the beginning of the signups for Gourmets for God. Fun, food, friends, and funds. Support your center by having fun and raising funds. Meet new people, fill your social calendar. See the Gourmets for God team to choose the event. We got about 20. We got some really cool stuff. There's lots of surprises. It's lots of fun. You owe it to yourself. There's a parent forum here with Reverend Patty Wednesday from 11:30 to 1 in the multipurpose room as she offers tools and practices for a joyful life as a parent. Childcare and a light lunch are provided.
I have been hearing great things about this new class that Reverend Michael is teaching. It's called the Meditation is More Than You Think. It starts at 7. It's at 7 o'clock on Monday nights. So please join the class. Yeah, Tony says it's great. It's a wonderful class.
The men's group meeting is next Tuesday. See me for details. I'll be at the table after the service. Shifting Sands meets every Thursday here at 10:30. More info, call Pat. The Women's Circle meeting is next Friday. They're having a beach bonfire. Contact Laura.
Lovely. Okay. And today's beautiful flowers are a gift from Rita McPhail, celebrating her son Damon's birthday and her son Dion's freedom. So thank you, Rita.
Now we're going to invite Wade Woolridge to come up and sing a song about the upcoming choir show. He's going to bring up Hans and Kimberly, who are going to present sign language for the hearing impaired.
It's just a little bitty pissant Opry show, but it's grand to see. The choir will sing and Clark will do his thing, but it won't be free. It's just a piddly-squatting old-time country show. Nothing too high tone. Some musical treats, delicious halftime sweets, 'cause there's something country going on. It's just a little bitty pissant Opry show on the 12th of June. Get your tickets real quick, they're selling lickety-split. To hear the choir croon, it's just a piddly-squatting old-time Opry show. Nothing too high tone. If you pay the most, you get to sit up close, 'cause there's something country going on. It's just a little bitty pissant Opry show with a country band and a fiddle to play in that barn dance way to give the choir a hand. It's just a piddly-squatting old-time Opry show. Nothing too high tone. Here's a bug in your ear. Everyone will be here, 'cause there's something country going on. Something country going on.
Yeehaw!
It's fun how things are always changing and morphing around here. I'd like to announce that immediately after the service, y'all need to stay here because we are auctioning off a very exciting first Gourmets for God right here, right now. It's way too cool for school, and I can't even tell you anything more about it. I'm going to read the affirmation now. I am an instrument of God's peace. I use my talents and ability to spread love. I surrender my job to God and remember that my real job is to love the world back to health. My life's purpose is to love, and so it is. So you guys, use my talents and abilities to spread love. Surrender my job to God. Remember that my real job is to love the world back to health. My life's purpose is to love, and so it is. Nice job. Take it off or just stay here.
And now the Jewel Tones Choir. Come on up. All right, we just need to do a few little maneuvers here with some items. So we can put that down here. This song is called All Over the World, and it's fun and peppy, and we have two soloists, Wade Wooldridge and the young man you just heard from, Dave Friedman, going to be featured in the middle of it. So There we go. Please welcome Reverend Heather Dawn Clark.
Thank you. And thank you, Jewel Tones Choir. That was fun. It was fun to see you, hear you, et cetera, et cetera. I'm continuing the discussion of A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson's seminal book written a couple of decades ago. And today's topic is work. And the whole idea, I don't know if we're here yet, but we're not, so okay. So the whole idea of A Return to Love, work, is to remember to, whatever you're doing, to do it with love, to do it lovingly, full-heartedly. Open your heart and let love pour through it is that you're doing. So thank you, Mary. And let's see, maybe it looks like you'll have to help me. So the next slide, please. So, and the next slide, please. So here's a prayer that she says in the book about work. Dear God, please give my life some sense of purpose. Use me as an instrument of your peace. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Use my talents and abilities to spread love. I surrender my job to you. Help me remember that my real job is to love the world back to health, which was in our wonderful affirmation. Thank you very much. Amen. What a wonderful prayer. Please use my life, give my life, use my talents and abilities to spread love. What that means is every single one of us could be doing this right now, right where we are, whether we have a job or not. We can be doing whatever we're doing with love. And especially those of us who are still in the workforce or just coming into the workforce, that we do that job, whatever is in front of us, with love, that we see the face of God there. We see the opportunity to be God's hands, God's heart, God's voice for whatever we're doing. Now, next slide, please. So your work is your ministry. And I purposely chose this picture, which is of Jesus ministering, because let this light be, this mind be in you that is in Christ Jesus. So in other words, we're supposed to have the same attitude, the same heart, the same mind as Jesus had. And we're supposed to be here to minister to others. Reverend Judy said in a wonderful opening prayer, when you look at the people around you, to see God in their eyes, to see God in their actions, and to model that in yourself, to you be the one that is loving. Next slide, please. So this is one of her most well-known quotes, and it comes from this chapter on work. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Next slide, it's quite long. So it's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. Next slide, please. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. Aren't those beautiful ideas to contemplate? Who we are here to be is that light. And we're to be it everywhere, every time, in our work, in our play, wherever we are, to let that light shine. Next slide, please. So one of the things that many people get caught up in is, well, I have to do this work because I need the money. And that's wrong thinking. It's wrong thinking for many reasons. Ernest Holmes would say, but you're coming from lack, from need, when you're saying you're working for money. But Marianne says, if you work in service to God, she tells a wonderful story on herself that she had opened a store, and this coach had told her, I can help you earn a lot of money. You can turn every person who comes in into a customer. And she thought about it. It didn't sit well with her, and she meditated on it. And what she got in meditation is that this store is my church. And every person who comes to this church of mine is here for my blessing. So instead of seeing them as potential dollar signs, she saw them and blessed every single person that came in. Coincidentally, it was successful. But the first thing was to see these people as someone that she could be in service to, someone that she could help, lift up, raise up, and not something that someone she could get something from. That's a huge thing for all of us, to be doing our work so that we are being in service, not for the money. Now, I suspect there's some of you thinking, but I need the money. You know what? If you keep doing the work with love, the money will follow. It will grow. And it doesn't matter, next slide, please. I think this is Ernest. This is what Ernest says is a man does not suddenly become affluent because he sits around and thinks I'm a multimillionaire. But when he thinks affluently, he begins to demonstrate prosperity. So when you're thinking affluently, you're thinking from the mind of God, from the heart of God. You're thinking in terms of who you really are, and who you really are doesn't have any needs, doesn't need anything except the need to give of itself. Just like the flower, I'm reading, I confess, I've had this book for at least 30 years, and I finally picked it off my bookshelf because so many of my students got so much out of it, the autobiography of a yogi. And so I'm finally reading it, and it's hard to put down. Diane and I were having a conversation about that over the weekend. It's really hard to put down. It's a wonderful, wonderful, true story. And he talks about various saints in India that he met when he was a child. And the one that's coming to mind right now, he said he wouldn't ever want to study with this guy, but he was a saint he was the perfume saint. He could bring any aroma, any flavor into manifestation. So God was, and what he said, God is this beauty of the smell. And he asked, and Yogananda, of course he wasn't Yogananda then, asked him, what is your favorite smell? And he said, rose. And he could smell the rose coming from his hand, not just then, but when he went home. His sister could smell it too. It wasn't just in his mind, it was actually there. And he took a flower that he knew to be odorless. So name me an odorless white flower. An orchid. So he maybe took an orchid, and some orchids smell, but an orchid. And he said, let's make this smell like jasmine. And so he took both the flower and his hand, couldn't leave his hand there, but anyway, that smell lasted. It didn't come from something outer. It came from an inner realization how everything comes. Everything that we have in our life comes from an inner realization that this is mine. This is who I am. This is what I'm creating. This is my ministry. Do we have to be saints in order? No, we're creating all the time. Every moment of every day, we are creating out of our consciousness. Next slide, please. Maybe there's a next slide. There is the next slide, but Mary went for a break. Okay, ultimately, it is not our credentials, but our commitment to a higher purpose that creates our effectiveness in the world. I'm reading a book. One of my students, Reverend Maddie Dobbs, who's the co-pastor in Carlsbad, has written a book. All these students of mine that have books, and they're really good, which is great. But where's my book? Anyway, I was reading her book because she wants me to write an endorsement for her if I like it. And I love it. It's filled with practical examples of how people's lives have changed by applying these principles. And she talks about one of her clients who was highly educated and was very unhappy in the job she had. And she said, well, highly educated, I think she was a lawyer. And she had to drive every day to get to her work, and she just had enough of it. So she took a year off. And during that year, she gardened. She found what she really loved to do was garden. And it came to her that if she could just garden all the time, she'd be wonderful. So she went back to school, got a degree in horticulture, and simply allowed that thing she loved to be her life's work. That thing that she loved, that she was guided to do. So she too was doing what she thought would be a great idea. A great idea, but her heart wasn't in it. She wasn't called to it. And therefore, even though she was making money, it wasn't money that was serving her. So if you think you can't do something because you don't have the education for it, think again. Do you have the passion for it? If you do, then the education can follow. Or as Marianne says, she says, I'm a woman that's done a bit of everything. I do not have a degree. She's been a minister of a great big huge church. She's written books that have made millions of dollars, sold millions of copies, but she doesn't have a degree. She didn't finish any of the things that she was called to start. Let that be okay. Next slide, please. Oh, good. Okay, so one of the other things she says, and there's several chapters and they're all so good, is that the word that you consider for your keyword at work is kindness. Bring kindness into everything you do. And I thought, boy, that would really be helpful, because kindness is love in action. So if we're being kind, if we're bringing awareness of compassion and kindness to everything we do. And I have a story to illustrate that I'd like to share with you. I've told this story long ago, but many of you weren't part of our church that long ago. He wrote this, or it was published in 2008. And this man says, 20 years ago, I used to drive taxi cab. And one night I was summoned to a house in kind of a regular neighborhood. The house was very dark. A little light was on, 2:30 in the morning. So something inside him he said, many people would just honk, and if no one came out, they would leave. But he thought better of it. And so he went to the door, rang the doorbell, and he said it looked like no one lived there. There's white sheets over all the furniture. And the woman who was coming was dragging a little suitcase across the floor, a very tiny, elderly woman. And he helped her with her bag, put it in the car for her, and got the address of where she was going. And she said, would you mind going through downtown? He said, well, that's a longer way. I don't mind. I'd really like to just see downtown, if you don't mind. So he went downtown, and she pointed out things like the place she and her husband had been married, where they'd had their first dance, where she used to sell, where she used to work, and where she used to sell whatever it is that she was selling. So she just, all of these wonderful memories. And he said, by the way, where are we going? She said, I'm going to hospice. And he took her to hospice, and they were right there with the wheelchairs to come and help her in. And she said, "How much do I owe you? It's been a long, long taxi ride." He said, "Absolutely nothing. I got more out of giving you this tour than you could ever imagine." He says after he dropped her off, he didn't pick up any other fares. He just drove around. He said aimlessly, thinking about what if some angry cabbie had been impatient and said, "No way." What if some impatient cabbie had just honked the horn and left? But indeed, he had been the one who had come, and he had come so that he could be love to her, be kind to her. In our ordinary lives, there are ways that we can be kind that we may not have thought of. So, and when you do it, think about it. You are called to minister wherever you are. You're called to minister just by being love. Many of you have ministered to me, and I'm very, very deeply grateful for that ministry. Whether it's a kind word, whether it's a hug, whether it's "How are you doing?" whether it's a card, it means the world to me. So, and what I just give it all back to you right now. Thank you for sharing your love. I'm sharing it back with you, with my family as well. There's no change in my mom. I will let you know when there is. And that takes us right into a wonderful time for prayer. So if you just get ready for prayer as Diane is letting us deepen this idea of being love everywhere. I am opening to your love. 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 Safe in your heart, safe in your arms. Safe in your heart, safe in your arms. I am opening to your love. I am opening to your love. In this holy moment of now, I remind myself that there is God and nothing else, and that this one is divine love. It is the healing power of the universe everywhere present. And so I return to love in consciousness, intentionally. I return to love in everything I do because I return to love in everything I am. I know that I am a blessing wherever I go. And I know that that going is directed by that one presence, all knowing, everywhere present. I give great thanks for the power and presence of God in my life, And on behalf of everyone here, knowing that the words that I have spoken are true for all, I simply release this word to the action of law. I know that it is complete, and so it is. And the Jewel Tones Choir.
We have a very special song here by our three lovely ladies, Kirsten Thomas, Darylyn Fennelly, and Karen Meyer. The beautiful Over the Rainbow for you.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Somewhere, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Exquisite. Thank you. Very nice. I need to, no, thank you. Yep, they're coming back again. Would the stewards please come forward? It's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. And what I know is that this opportunity to give is the holiest time of our whole service. And we are so very grateful for all that you give. What I know is that it is a blessing for you to give, and it's a blessing for the center to receive. So it's a wonderful synchronicity. So please repeat after me. I am one with the grace of God.
I am one with the grace of God.
The grace of God is love in me.
The grace of God is love in me.
The grace of God is prosperity in me.
The grace of God is prosperity in me.
I give with love,
I give with love,
and I love to give.
and I love to
And
give.
so it is.
And so it is.
Just want to introduce, obviously, here is another promo for our show coming up. And we have three solos in this song. Our first is starting off with, where is she? Kimberly Wooldridge, and then Mary Brogdon and Karen Myers. This is Love Will Roll the Clouds Away.
way we go. Clouds may roll, the light of day. Have no fear, for a friend we know. Love will roll the clouds away.
Love will roll the clouds away. And the darkness into day. I'm so glad the clouds will stay. Love will roll the clouds away.
Like a bright, bright sun, shining light to each one, and that sun with brilliant rays is sure to roll the clouds away.
Love will roll the clouds away. From the darkness into day. I'm so glad I can say. Love will roll the clouds away.
When we know that we are one, no more doubt or need to run. All our strength is here to stay, and we are blessed in every way.
Love will roll the clouds away. From the darkness into day. I'm so glad I now can say. Love will roll the clouds away. Love will roll the clouds away. From the darkness into day. I'm so glad I now can say. Love will roll the clouds away. Love will roll the clouds away. Love will roll the clouds away. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Yeah, we sure do. We let it shine. We, Xander and Kyrie and Nadalka and Izzy and I had a great time today talking about the creative mind. We made some very cool. Talk to Xander. He might have had a different experience, which is what we talked about. It was awesome. All right, you ready to do it?
Good morning. My name is Xander. Please join me in the benediction. God is life. God is light. God is love. God is beauty. God is joy. God is peace. God is power.
All these things God is, I am.